And she actually added the research one too, right?
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
review and collaborate.
Review and collaborate.
Okay.
Partner and agencies. I don't know that it's clean up rules, that's just how it's applicable to your asbestos certification.
What if we expanded the benefits, I mean, to determine CSLB's role in keeping the public safe from hazardous materials?
That's good.
And what do I refine from here?
So the issue is that, do we like how the issue stated, or do you want to refine that a little? Looks good?
And that just leaves the question about the first one, which now, because of our third line, the first issue of hazardous certificate and the asbestos certificate, those two items today in law do not involve disaster, or any of that. Does the board want to?
People are using the license carefully.
It's not, I correctly, the way I understand it, I think that's true. I think the last one gets to that. We can address it. We can meet with CalRecycle and CalOSHA and others and say, how can we work together to protect the public? We know there's a problem that Paradise Fire, for example, they were re-wrapping all that material. And Miguel's saying that some of these people say,
So the bottom line is, with all of the discussion, is this a strategic objective that's been adequately described? We can always refine it
I
when
think
it
it
comes back
has, I
down.
really do.
But and obviously a very important one, but in the interest of time, as a strategic objective,
Yeah.
is the language as we have it right now acceptable for our first draft?
What
Sorry,
if
ladies,
can we
it's
put that
okay to
benefit?
call it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Hey, Susan, what do you
Is
think
it
about
adequate?
putting the things we have captured here under benefit down as an action item to research? Because I heard that comment, it was interesting, but I hadn't heard that before. So can we research and see what it's that we're doing and what do we need to do differently?
So you
So
say
that- just take that benefit to an action item. Yeah, that, like, so an action item under review and collaborate would be, research whether the certifications are being incorrect.
Once you meet and you understand what's required, you can do what? I don't know. Each group has their own little action they have.
Okay, so
As an action item, that one.
Yes, yeah. And then it's 5 to 4 now, so we've got one more on this slide, but I also want to call out that we haven't taken public comment for any of the strategic planning process, so we have got 5 more minutes left. Do we want to at least see if we? Please. Okay, so we're good there. So how about that last one, the collaborate with partnering agencies to educate, to update contracting law? Do we want to keep that one? Elaborate?
Then we already addressed that?
yes,
Okay,
Delete that.
okay, we can delete, all
I
right.
think so, yes, I think so.
Okay.
So, we want to,
You're over halfway there because we'll count. So for legislation, I think you had 16 originally, and now we're down to, is it 6?
yes.
Excellent. So obviously we have a hard stop at 4. So there are 2 things that can happen. One thing is just we just write up a draft of your strategic plan using what we have. So you'll know that executive and public affairs are going to have more objectives. And then we can make some suggestions on,
Yeah. Excuse me, can we go to 4:15 and just breeze through them maybe?
yeah, let's see if we can. Okay. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one then, public affairs. And we'll do the same thing. We'll look at all the slides, and then you can start grouping similar ones. Okay. Okay.
Or anything that screams out, that it's inappropriate or if it.
Okay, perfect. So the first one, the expand. Sounds good? Okay. Second one, secure more resources. Delete that one. Okay, I'm seeing nods. How about the identify issues? We're good with that one?
That might be an action that
Might be more of an action item.
For which,
For which one?
if we note it.
Just note it for now. Okay, so, okay. And how about the next one, establish?
Is that a new board member?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just like specific to us, we already people in training who today.
This was something that was discussed at our table. It's basically, I'll walk you through the building so you actually understand where the holdup is in the licensing process. Jesse will walk you through a day in case. Mike can tell you about how legislation gets developed. It's something a little bit more hands-on where we just sort of do that for maybe a day.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like we're good to keep that one too. Okay, moving on. Do you want to keep that first one, the create?
Homeowners Association.
Public outreach.
There's so many.
Okay, so we can notate that action item.
Yes.
Next one is update the website. Do we want to keep that?
That would be in conjunction with IT.
So it sounds like you're saying that probably needs to be moved under the IT executive.
It's joint, it's a joint project.
Okay,
We would probably be doing the reviews and making recommendations, but they'd actually have to make the changes on the website.
okay. Okay,
And we'll make those recommendations, a lot of them will have crossover, we can do that as staff, identify that, clarify that to the board.
okay. How about the develop the video tutorials? Okay, and then do you want to add a benefit real quickly? Like,
Reduce errors.
okay, to reduce errors. There you go. Okay, and then create podcasts. Do you want to keep that one?
No, I'm looking at this. To be honest with you, the podcast on this, so
I recommend your TikTok, but then.
Okay, so do you want to keep it or what do we think?
Dave, how much material do you have? I don't have material.
All right, so we've got that noted possible action items. So moving on. So you want to keep that top one, the consider.
That should be more IT.
Bless you, whoever wrote that, bless you so much. That top one.
All right.
But I don't know that there's, other than the communications and
Okay. All right, so the next one is increase online presence. Do you want to keep that one?
We've already done it.
Already done it, so we can delete it, okay. Yep, we already have the update website. Standardized communication. Okay. Next, last one.
This is one that I kind of recommend.
assist upon the permit being obtained, and also for the contractors to understand why they should be an ambassador for this, and the ramifications if they don't obtain a permit. It's really a big deal, is, you know, trying to get permit compliance and also help with the decarbonization.
Okay. So it looks like we're good to keep it and move on to the final goal area. Okay. All right. So you just reduced your public affairs to 6 objectives. So that's great. Now we'll move on to the final goal area, which is the executive, admin, and IT. So the first one there, manage internal security and firewalls. Do you want to keep that one? All right, and the next one, the develop. Do you want to keep that? And then our next one, it didn't have an action verb.
Yeah, the same thing.
Okay, so report to the board as the action.
Oh, sorry. Report, but it's the same thing.
Kind of the same thing, you know. You want to just remove.
Delete it.
Just delete it, okay.
Just put IT security at the top
Okay, so we'll put,
for the top one. Instead of internal, it'll just be IT security.
okay, so internal will become IT security. Okay, so the first one we want to keep, do we want to keep that?
You know, it's really just to keep the focus on going online. Some states have all their licensing transactions online. We need to be going that direction to reduce errors in
Okay,
processing times.
so we'll keep that one. How about the next one? Improve,
I think the second one is important.
okay?
I actually,
Is this licensing or is this?
I think it's a combination. It's certain. So it's a combined, but we as staff can fill out the right way.
Okay, all right, and then the make CSLB employer of choice for state employees. Do you want to keep that?
We have enough work to do. Yeah,
Okay.
Truthfully, that's hard to define.
Okay, we're good with removing that one? Okay, and finally, keep consumer protection. And since that's part of your mandate, that might be business as usual, so do you want to just remove that? We're okay with removing, okay, good. How about that first one, implement software program?
I guess action item for the online stuff.
Okay. So, action item for the online services or this stuff works too. How about the next one, implement, automate? Would that also be an action item for that first one?
For the most part.
Okay.
Which division?
And then Jason was asking which division?
Well, yeah, identify divisions.
So the data collection is going to be more data for all.
Okay.
Okay. How about the next one? Conduct succession planning. Okay, so we're okay with getting rid of it? Okay. How about improve onboarding and training? I know before it was onboarding the board members. This looks like it's more staff this time. Do you want to keep it?
Yes.
I'm hearing a yes.
Well, we do need to revisit our training program.
Okay.
So I think there's a benefit in having a focus and board support.
Okay. All right. Great. And then our last slide. How about that first one? Obtain cloud-based interface.
Falls in line with the other online presence and applications.
Okay, so that's, we can put in parentheses that it's part, another action item for that. Okay. And then next one's ensure IT secure. I think that's already covered, right? Yep. Pursue business modernization. Falls in line with the moving to the automation. Yep, okay. Or you could put in parentheses, just, it's part of the moving to the automation. It could be an action item. And then lastly, research and outreach for new enforcement staff.
I think that's a potential action item for the
Okay. All right. Okay, 5.
And we had a couple of updates from another area that's competitive, so.
Okay,
But we accounted for them in the other 4 areas.
right. So we're just looking for a total number of objectives. So we'll add them up and then we'll ask you how many years you think it'll take you to. 32, okay. So 32 objectives. Usually strategic plans run anywhere from 2 to 5 years. So how many years do you think staff would need to complete these objectives?
Staff, what do you think?
10 years now.
I heard of 10 years, that's not an option, sorry. I saw 3, 3 to 4, with,
It seemed like the last one was 3 years, and I thought it was pretty effective.
okay,
So much longer than the board, the staff don't pay much attention to it.
okay. So you think 3 years? Okay, so 3 years it is. And so like I said, the next step will be, we will be sending you a draft of what you created today. And of course, you'll be able to tweak it a little before and then the next step will be the board approving it, followed by action planning. So thank you. And it is exactly 4:15.
Oh my God, thank you.
All right.
Okay. Afternoon all, we are now moving to our closed session to conduct an evaluation of the performance of the registrar. This will be our last our last item for the day. This item is not available for viewing by the public. After closed session, we will briefly reconvene in an open session and adjourn for the day, and we will resume all other business tomorrow at 9 a.m. I now ask that the public and the staff leave the room and that the webcast and phone meeting be turned off. Afternoon again. I am resuming our open session and calling for a recess for the day to resume our proceedings at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.